Oh man, I have some disappointing news. Sucker Punch has clarified the status of the Infamous and Sly Cooper franchises, and it's not the clarification that I wanted to hear about, but we'll go over it. It's a news story that I feel like we have to cover, and we have to talk about it, and I have to give my opinion on it. Also, Jason Schreier gave us a bit of an update on God of War. Seems like that game's release date announcement has been delayed. Don't worry, the release date hasn't been delayed, just the announcement. And then Digimon Survive has also gotten a brand new gameplay trailer. I'll talk that at the end of this video. But first of all, Sucker Punch put out a statement and put out some clarification in regards to their IPs, noting as our games continue to grow in scale and complexity, they require the full attention of our studio. With our focus on our current project, we have no plans to revisit Infamous or Sly Cooper right now, and no other studio is currently working on projects related to those franchises either. These characters are very special and near and dear to our hearts, so while we never say never to reopening those doors down the road, for now there are no Infamous or Sly Cooper games in development. Oh man, how disappointing is that? Now, I had expected that Sucker Punch is probably working on Ghost of Tsushima 2, so, you know, them working on a new Infamous game, although the idea of an Infamous 1 remake, I didn't completely, you know, put that off the table, but, you know, I was thinking, okay, they're probably not working on a new Infamous game, but Sly Cooper being helmed by another studio, I thought that was very possible. But if this clarification is to be believed, and this is directly on Sucker Punch's official website, and I think it is a horrid idea to put out statements like this in an attempt to swerve the consumer or try to trick them into thinking, you know, that it's not in development, but it is in development, because if that happens, then any statements you put out in the future just have no weight to them whatsoever, so I would put that off the table. I already saw some comments like that on social media and people thinking, oh, this is just to swerve the fan base. No, I think that's a horrendous idea. Please don't do that. No publisher should do that. No developer should do that. But in this case, I assume it was something of the sort that Sucker Punch has been hearing, that there's been a lot of rumors in regards to an Infamous game or a Sly Cooper game being in development, and people really do want it, so, you know, just keeping us in the dark. I appreciate the fact that they did go the extra step to put out this statement and say, hey, these games, while we love them, while we love the characters, there's no games in development. Is it depressing to me? You're damn right it is, because Infamous 1 and 2 are two of my favorite PlayStation 3 games of all time. Hell, scratch that, two of my favorite PlayStation games of all time, and I love Second Son as well. Sly Cooper, we don't even gotta talk about the Sly Cooper trilogy. We don't even gotta talk about Thieves of Time. Thieves in Time? Yeah, Thieves in Time. And that game had an ending that was clearly, you know, kind of set up to parlay into another game, but in this case, it's been, what, almost a decade since Sly Thieves in Time came out. I think it came out in 2013, so we're approaching a decade since that game dropped. Infamous Second Son, it's been 8 years, and I get it. Ghost of Tsushima probably did remarkably well from a commercial standpoint, but I wish that, you know, Sony has so many great IPs, and some of them are long-lasting. Like, God of War, I think, is here to stay in perpetuity. I think there's franchises that are just gonna be around for a long time, but they have so many IPs that they just don't revisit a lot, and your Infamouses of the world, your Sly Coopers of the world, Jak and Daxter, of course, these are IPs that have so much nostalgia attached to them, but for some reason, Sony likes to move on. They like to work on new IPs, and hell, more power to them. They've had incredible success over the last, you know, decade, half-decade with IPs such as Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima. But I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely nice to see them go and give Ratchet a new entry with Ratchet Rift Apart, and I would like to see the same for Infamous, Sly Cooper, and Jak and Daxter, of course. And I don't even have that much nostalgia towards Jak and Daxter. I just hear the comments on social media, and I honestly feel kind of bad, given how the Jak and Daxter trilogy, and I know there was Lost Frontier as well, but the main trilogy, those games were received so well. And just for some reason, we don't have a new game, which is a bummer. And I get it, Sony's making new IPs. They've got their hands into the Marvel games, Spider-Man, Wolverine, and their IPs are incredibly successful right now, don't get it twisted. So what they're doing from a financial standpoint, you really can't hate on them for that, given that their games have been selling really well. But, yeah, there you go with that. As far as Infamous and Sly Cooper, it looks like it's gonna be quite a bit more waiting from us. But hey, maybe the reaction on social media, that'll push the powers that be over at Sony to greenlight a new Infamous or Sly Cooper game, and hopefully a developer will want to tackle that challenge, because maybe in the case of Sucker Punch, they want to continue working on Ghost of Tsushima. They see a lot of potential in that, and they're enjoying working on that as well. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out, but definitely some upsetting news from me. Alright, moving on from that, there's been a lot of talk in regards to God of War and the status of that game. Look, I think it's going to be coming out November 11th of this year, but Jason Schreier did note on Reset Era, after talking with more folks yesterday, I can definitively say that there was a release date and pre-order announcement planned for yesterday. It was bumped at some point last week. I don't know why. Speculation is because of Roe v. Wade. Also, PlayStation has been trying to keep secrets so badly that most SSM employees weren't even told about it. As of this week, the game is still on track for November. People working on it say it's huge and seem to be pretty excited about it. Reminds me of the buzz I was hearing before the 2018 one. I don't know why people are so stressed out on seeing or hearing more about God of War. I feel like they've clarified enough times that it's going to be a 2022 game. Okay, that's enough information for me now. If it's going to get delayed to 2023, I could understand wanting to hear an update about that, but I think definitively it's gonna hit 2022, and you know, we saw a good bit of gameplay of the game. Do we really need to see more gameplay? Like, is seeing more gameplay of God of War gonna sell you guys more on the game? Let's be real here. You guys are probably already sold on the game. I'm already sold on the game. They're gonna get my $70 plus tax, and I think most of you guys are ready to fork over your $70 plus tax, so I don't really want to see any more gameplay. I mean, I get it. People want to know exactly the date it's coming out. But this is one that I see a lot of talk on social media around it, and I see a lot of people getting upset that we're not hearing more about it. Let's not even talk about the controversy that came out. I was just disgusted seeing that. Yes, I get it was a small minority of people doing that heinous action, but man, what are you guys doing over there? What the hell is going on over there with that? But nonetheless, hopefully we do hear something about God of War within the next couple of weeks, just because the only thing I want to know is I want to see the fall completely take shape, because now we know a lot of these games coming out, and man, I gotta say, the fall looking kind of spicy. It's looking pretty darn good as far as new game releases, but yeah, I think God of War is going to be one of the big games that's going to drop this fall. Also, if it hits November 11th, I saw some people pointing this out. That was the date that Starfield was supposed to come out as well, so kind of interesting there. Lastly, I do want to note briefly that there was a new gameplay trailer that dropped for Digimon Survive, showcasing, you know, some of the elements of the game. Obviously, Digimon Survive has a heavy visual novel aspect to the game as well. I know some people are kind of mixed on that. I'm definitely all for it. Like, I dig me some visual novels. I love me my Danganronpa. I love me my AI, the Somnium Files. I love those kinds of games. A Zero Escape, of course, and you know, infusing that with a Digimon game with a tactics-based battle system looks pretty good, and it looks like it's gonna have a more mature story. And from a gameplay standpoint, as far as the gameplay goes, looks like, you know, Final Fantasy Tactics style of gameplay, like that grid-based style, which I'm not completely in love with, but let's see how it turns out. Some of the abilities and moves definitely look good in the gameplay battles themselves. So this is dropping July 29th, 4 weeks to the day for the release of Digimon Survive. Super excited about that. There's also a launch bonus that they have detailed. You'll get a free Guilmon and HP support item available for a limited time. So yeah, Guilmon, of course, in Digimon. Which one? It was the third season. Was that one called Tamers? I think it was called Tamers. Yeah, he was the main character's Digimon. I haven't seen Tamers in forever, so my apologies. Yeah. First Digimon was Agumon, then it was Vmon, and yeah, then it was Guilmon. Yeah. I still remember my Digimons, but nonetheless, Digimon Survive again dropping July 29th. Love the box art for the game as well. Really digging that. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, as far as Infamous and Sly Cooper, it looks like we're not gonna get a brand new entry anytime in the near future. Again, I think these people that are saying, oh, this is to swerve the consumer base, this is to swerve the fans, please, I don't think it's that. That would be a horrendous idea if that was the case. God of War, probably gonna hear something in the next couple of weeks. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think it's gonna be, you know, November, probably November 11th. We'll see how that turns out. And Digimon Survive, new trailer on that. Game dropping July 29th. Same day as Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's gonna be, you know, a pretty nice day for RPG, JRPG fans. I think people are gonna be quite happy that day. But that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.